Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. 5/6 of the way to Christmas. It's what did I buy in October of 2024. I got a lot of things to talk about today, but first, on the long-term investing front, I did not buy anything. I put this eye candy out here for you to look at while I talk, but let's be realistic. Black Friday is coming, and for the last 2 years, TCG Player has given 17 and 18% cash back on Black Friday. So there's no way going into October that I was going to be buying much of anything unless it looked like the market was just going to rocket that particular item up beyond anything else. Now, when we do get to Black Friday, I will have a sale and deal thread for the patrons as always. And, even though I didn't buy anything for my own personal long term investment, I'm always looking for deals, always talking with my sources and looking out for things for my patrons. I'll come back to that closer to the end of the video, but there's a lot to talk about for this month. Pokemon, the Twilight Masquerade, and Surging Sparks Bubbles. Look, guys, my newsletter to my patrons this month was about just this. Essentially, just wait. Don't FOMO. If those two products, they've kind of blasted up in price way too fast. We know Pokemon USA will reprint those. They are standard Pokemon products, and they are way too early in their life cycle for how high they have gotten. Don't chase it, just wait. Now, it could take several months before Pokemon USA can get them in some print space to do those reprints, but eventually they will come. In general, don't fear the Pokemon market. I keep seeing all these videos about how we're going into this big Pokemon bubble market wide, and as far as pricing data, I don't see it. Now, when it comes to things like, a bunch of new channels doing rip and ships, a bunch of new channels doing how to invest in Pokemon and things like that, maybe so. But in terms of actual price action on TCG Player following the market prices, it's really Surging Sparks and Twilight Masquerade. All the older Sword and Shield product, it keeps marching up steadily, but it's not going nuts. It's going up $1, $2, $3 a week, kind of like we expect. Now, Evolving Skies, yes, it's had kind of a blow off top here in the last few months, but the reason for that is it butted up against some really hard resistance at $700 a box for nearly 6 months. It finally got past that resistance and it's broken out. Again, this is what we expect to see in markets. It's what you see in the stock market all the time. It's nothing odd. So, in general, if you're worried about some coming hysteria in the Pokemon market, if you're worried that Surging Sparks and Twilight Masquerade box prices are the bellwether for a coming new wave of dumb money to jump up the prices, don't fear it. Sell the hysteria and buy the capitulation. Sell into it as people come in ready to pay any amount of money for anything they can get their hands on, and eventually they'll fail, they'll give up, they'll realize flipping is neither quick nor easy, and that making money is, it takes work. So buy the capitulation when they give up later. And I'll remind you, the last time we went through this, it resulted in the late 2022 and early 2023 booster orgy, where you could get tins and V-boxes and collections and all the rest full of Sword and Shield boosters for about $3 per booster pack. And today, I looked at my actual numbers from what I bought back then. I am up 230% since then. So if we're going into another crazy Pokemon market like back then, and it will inevitably lead to the same capitulation and crash like it did back then, I welcome it because I look to buy more product that I can have a 230% return on in 2 years. The markets will move despite you. Just don't worry about it. Don't fret over it. Don't agonize over it. Markets are going to move despite you. You just have to figure out how to work with it. What do you need to buy? What do you need to sell, depending on how the market is moving in order to continue making money? Now, lastly, on the Pokemon note, 151 reprints have started to arrive, specifically the Costco packs. I've seen those being resold on eBay for more than twice what they cost at Costco. Hopefully, they'll come to Costco online and not have a limit on them. I'll look forward to that. But maybe I'll swing by my local Costco. But what I've seen online is they have a limit of 3, which doesn't really interest me. It's almost not even worth taking the drive down to Costco to check that out. But hopefully, the reprints are a lot wider than just those Costco tins. And I've heard they will encompass other products. Now it's going to take a while to get into the market and a while for it to drive down the prices. And you should not hold your breath thinking it's going to dramatically drive the prices down, but it will give you one last opportunity to get some positions in Pokemon 151 if you don't already have what you would like. On the Magic collector boxes, yes, they are on a tear like we have never seen before, specifically going back to the beginning of 2023 with Phyrexia. And of course, this is not the actual beginning of 2023. We had Dominaria Remastered, but sadly, it appears that it got in with the old print run numbers that were too high. It was printed to oblivion, and it's going to take longer for it to firm up. It's an amazing product, but it's just going to take longer. You know, we've seen Bloomburrow and Duskmorn here break above 250 or hit the 250 mark just recently. We got a number of these in this pile: Ravnica Remastered, Wilds of Eldraine, Lost Caverns, and Phyrexia that have broken over $300. And even some of the unloved older 21 and 22 era collector boxes like Unfinity and Baldur's Gate, those have broken over $200. The rest of that unloved era, eventually it'll have its day in the sun, but it's going to take a while longer. Just look at the market depth on things like AFR and Midnight Hunt, Crimson Vow, and Streets, and it's just going to take a while. But, you know, Infinity and Baldur's Gate have finally broken above 200, and the rest will follow in time. Now, as predicted yesterday in my video on Foundation's collector box sales data, it has hit $250 market price this morning on TCG Player. There is danger to that product from the TCG expansion life cycle. There's going to be a lot more boxes coming to market, being put up on the sell side of the book in the coming 2 weeks. And it's very likely that we'll see the prices pull back as a lot of stores get excited to throw the boxes out at $250 each, and they compete and naturally drive the price down. I would not blame them. It's a standard priced box, so high 100s is the wholesale price, and if they can sell it on the marketplace for $250 and make $10, $12, $15 after shipping and fees, they're going to do that, and they're going to do it hard, and they're going to do it until some stores will be losing money on the marketplace. So I do expect the prices of that to come down easily $10, $20, $30 in the coming weeks. It's going to be a good product, and it's going to perform as well as collector boxes have in the last 2 years. So don't be discouraged if you see it fall below 250 in the coming weeks. In other news, MetaZoo is attempting to return from the dead under new ownership. And of course, there's a channel on YouTube called Nick's Strength in Pokemon. And Nick was the only person on all of YouTube reporting on reporting on MetaZoo. The channel is in fact called Nick's Strength in Pokemon, even though he reports on MetaZoo. Yeah, it's okay. I didn't mess up that part. But he was the only channel in about the last, 10 months, ever since Rudy deleted and privatized every MetaZoo video he had ever made. Nick was the only person left making any type of MetaZoo content. He followed the bankruptcy proceedings, he followed the IP buyout proceedings, and now he's posted an interview, I guess 2 nights ago, he had with Charlie Herlocker, who was the gentleman who arranged to purchase MetaZoo's assets. He did not purchase MetaZoo. There's a big important distinction there. So if the old MetaZoo still owed you money for pre-sales, you cannot get it because the old MetaZoo still owes you that money, and the new company headed by Charlie Herlocker simply bought the assets and not the liabilities. But they are bringing MetaZoo back. Now, that's about a 2-hour interview. If you're at all interested, I'm not interested in MetaZoo as a game. I never spent a single dollar investing in MetaZoo. I avoided all the mess of it. But I watched the interview and I thought it was interesting. Herlocker is definitely an intelligent guy. It's very interesting just to hear the way he thinks about things. Now, I'm going to make a longer video about this subject in the next day or two about the potential investing implications for MetaZoo based on the IP coming back to life under a new management team at a new company. But definitely check that out on Nick's Strength in Pokemon, the interview with Charlie Herlocker, if you're interested. November patron sale items, the new list is coming today. Of course, I sold out of Phyrexia collector boxes during October. By the time they sold out, they were $75 under market price. And I still have DM22 collector boxes around $40 under market price. I'm probably going to have 3 new offerings added to the list this month, though. One kind of got skunked. My source had me thinking I was getting a really good deal, and yeah, it was a really good deal, but mostly it was a good deal because there was a reprinting of the product and it was getting dumped into the market. So it wasn't as great of a deal as I originally thought, but there will be 3 new things out there this month. My general philosophy on the items that are available all month long that are not part of the sealed sale is that I put them up for a price that I'm happy with, and I leave them there at that price until they sell out. And, some of those things up there have been up there for months, and people are still buying them steadily, and I'm still working down my inventory of them. So, a couple new things up there today. Otherwise, if you want to join the Patreon, it's $20 a month. You get real-time buy notices when I'm buying things for long-term investment. You get my bonus bucks sales threads, the final trade monthly newsletter, and you get to message me and actually get a response to your questions, ideas, etc. because I do not have time to respond to everything on YouTube anymore. The channel growth is far beyond that. So it's looking great going into the end of the year, going into November, into the Black Friday season. We're going to have some great deals on that, shore up some of our positions. And it's nice just to see collector boxes finally become collectible again, finally get some time in the sun, and for some of those mountains and mountains of products in the closet to really be appreciating. Let me know what you think, guys. Every time I open the fridge, I see the eggnog calling to me, sitting in the back in the quart jars. It's almost time. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.